Hey guys, Lewis or the Gaming Rift here, and today I'm going to be trying something a little bit different. So you guys might know that, obviously I've made my own versus content in the past. I've made debunks of DANCO, and I've also joked about stuff in Discord servers or what have you. But one thing I've never done is I've never actually done a reaction to one of his videos. And this isn't even, just DANCO. I've never done a reaction video before. I mean, partly because I've not had the sufficient software, but I've just never done it. I've never done a reaction, and it's surprising. So today we're going to fix that. We're going to react to my very first versus battle and my very first video in general for the channel. And what better video to react to than DANCO's most recent fight, which is Scarlet Witch from the MCU versus Superman from the DCEU. I'm not really sure what to think going into this video, because from my perspective, I have the firm belief that Scarlet Witch would stomp. I think she would just restrain his ass just like she did with Thanos, and just, destroy him essentially. However, DANCO does have a habit of hilariously lowballing the MCU speed feats. My favourite example being when he did Thor versus Superman, and he brought up a lot of speed feats for Thor, which would actually be, relativistic to the speed of light. But then he claimed that Superman is faster because he can blitz bullet timers. It just doesn't make any sense. But we are going to go into it with an open mind. I've heard that his scaling has got better recently, so let's actually see if he can represent both characters accurately. With that being said though, guys, if you want more reaction videos from me in the future, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's get to 1,000 subs by the end of the year. Without further ado, let's begin.
Overpower Leviathans, peel back Ultron's impenetrable vibranium body and tear out his heart. Even block attacks from Thanos, then completely and totally overpower Thanos, leave him helpless and in her control. And then her energy powers are enough to destroy the Mind Stone, while simultaneously holding back Thanos with the 5 other Infinity Stones.
I gotta be honest, I didn't have high hopes for this video, but he did, he has brought in the Thanos scaling that I was referring to. She overpowered Thanos, was bullying the shit out of him. She literally destroyed an Infinity Stone with one hand, whilst also restraining Thanos with 5 Infinity Stones with the other hand. Keep in mind that this Thanos should logically scale above the Thanos on Titan with 4 Infinity Stones, and that he was able to fight, Doctor Strange. They were able to generate a black hole. Doctor Strange was calculated to be large star level when he overpowered that black hole. Thanos should obviously scale above that level of power, and yet, Scarlet Witch was able to slow him down, cause him to struggle with just one hand. So it's incredible scaling.
And again, for the most part, all this was Scarlet Witch's magic running on autopilot. So if this was on autopilot, and if all of this insane stuff that she did before was just barely tapping into her powers, what can she do now that she's the full-blown embodiment of the Scarlet Witch? Well, for starters, she can beat Doctor Strange. She can beat Wong, beat 2 Sorcerer Supremes at once, and take down Kamar-Taj. All the force of the mystic arts combined, all at once. So yeah, no big deal. She was destined to either rule or destroy the world, making her essentially a planetary threat. She started casting spells like dreamwalking, allowing her to jump from universe to universe. Doctor Strange was pretty well convinced that Wanda was becoming, or had already become, a universal-level threat. Then she went up against another team, like the Avengers, the Illuminati, and ripped them all to shreds. Some of them she literally ripped to shreds. She was manipulating reality at will, throwing chaos magic all around, telepathically breaking necks, truly going all out. And this wasn't a weak team by any means. They beat Thanos before he could snap.
It's actually interesting. So I edited this video in the interest of, making the video fair use to avoid copyright strikes. Essentially what DANCO was referring to was basically the notion that Scarlet Witch Scarlet Witch, Endgame and prior to Endgame, was basically her powers when they weren't at their max potential. And what he was referring to in that clip was basically what her powers were like at their max potential. So I'm very happy that he brought in Doctor Strange scaling, because as I previously mentioned, Doctor Strange against Thanos was calculated to be, between the planetary large star ranges when he negated that black hole as confirmed by the Infinity War script. So the fact that she was able to fight him and Wong at the same time, should justify her scaling to that level. It's also good that he brought in some of her other abilities. The common misconception is that You know, she's just limited to just like her blasts of magic. She actually is, I mean, in fairness, in-game and prior, yes, she was limited, but now, you know, I apologize for that, no idea what the fuck that was. Now, you know, it's good that he's respecting her other hacks, and it's good that he brought in, you know, the Illuminati, as, yes, he's 100% correct. They did something that the Avengers weren't capable of doing. Are they better than the Avengers? No, I'm not saying that. But, you know, those characters could beat Thanos, yet she beat them in no time flat, which should justify her scaling above, well, not above Thanos, but comparable to him at the very least, as she was able to completely destroy the, you know, Illuminati, which is incredible scaling, and very well done to him for bringing it up.
But Superman? Well, he's easily the most powerful hero that Wanda has ever squared off against, bar none. Now, Superman is the Man of Steel, the last son of Krypton. And because of that, well, it's definitely safe to say that he's the strongest, the most powerful hero in the DCEU. And so, I guess first things first, we gotta answer the question of just how strong is he? Well, in Man of Steel, Superman was able to hold up part of an oil rig and sent Namek flying away with a punch, and flipped over several 150-ton locomotives on impact. He's stood under, overpowered the World Engine's gravity beam that was transforming Earth into Krypton. He's resisted the pull of the Phantom Zone, which mimics a small black hole. And destroyed a large part of Metropolis during his fight with General Zod, even punching Zod across the majority of the city with just 2 hits. In Batman v Superman, Clark has pulled a 6,000-ton ship and sent Doomsday flying hundreds of meters through space. And then finally, in Justice League post-Resurrection, he effortlessly overpowered Aquaman, Cyborg, and Wonder Woman, and didn't even move an inch when they attacked. Then he freaking destroyed Steppenwolf. It was a beating so bad that it got to the point where it makes you just feel sorry for the bad guy. But then what about durability?
Okay, so it's pretty obvious going through the feats, especially the ones towards the end of that segment there, that he is using Snyder Cut. I'm assuming he is anyways, as he refers to, you know, the heat vision melting through, you know, Steppenwolf's crown, which didn't happen in the canon Whedon cut. So I guess he's using Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut isn't currently canon. However, you know, it is what it is. We have to take it as he's using that version of Superman. What do I disagree with? You know, the Phantom Zone, not the Phantom Zone, the World Engine is pretty good feat. He didn't address that Superman was weakened during that. He was, I'm pretty sure it was stated that, like, as he, you know, got closer to it, the atmosphere would become more and more like Krypton, which obviously Kryptonians don't have their insane power when they're actually on Krypton due to, you know, the origins with like the sun and everything like that, you know, boring technical stuff. Basically, Superman was confirmed to be weakened the closer he got to the World Engine itself. I don't disagree with too much feats there. I do think that the, you know, Phantom Zone black hole thing, that is kind of debunkable. You know, the fact that there's, you know, light coming from it, which obviously, you know, light isn't emitted from a black hole. The opposite, you know, light can't even escape a black hole. I would consider it an outlier for Superman, as it's probably the only time he's actually moved faster than light. You gotta keep in mind that when Superman was amped upon resurrection, he was slow from the Flash's perspective, and Flash is like light speed or above, and Flash is definitely faster than Superman, so I would consider that an outlier, but regardless, that's still some pretty insane feats, and very well done for you on the Superman side of things.
So, who's coming out on top here? Who wins? Well, I think we'd all agree. The most obvious strategy for Superman to use here is to fly in there at super speed before Wanda ever even has a chance to think, much less get an attack off, and knock her out with one good superpowered punch. I think that's the most obvious way he could win here. And there's definitely evidence to suggest that this could work. This is definitely something that Superman could do.
Whilst I do agree that Wanda doesn't have the most impressive durability, she's kind of a glass cannon, I think that using the white vision example is pretty dishonest, because you gotta remember that at the time, Wanda was, you know, grieving from, you know, Vision's death. She thought that White Vision was the Vision that she knew, so she let her guard down, let him get close, and, you know, it required the actual Vision to come and save her. So I don't think that's exactly the best example, and I think it is pretty dishonest to say, like, oh, that's evidence that, you know, she could get killed, you know. She literally let her guard down. We've seen, you know, characters like, a good example, Thanos, you know, she went ham on Thanos, you know, she did not have her guard down in the slightest. She was fully intent on killing him. Same with Doctor Strange, she didn't let her guard down. She was fully intent on, you know, she was 100% driven in her goals. She was going to achieve them no matter what. So I think that those scenarios don't really compare all that well.
Like, after getting the Darkhold, she's operating on almost just a different level. So let's break it down a little bit. Wanda has always been strong enough to hold off Superman, believe it or not. I mean, she was destroying Vibranium all the way back in Age of Ultron. Then she was overpowering Thanos, who could destroy some Vibranium of his own. And of course, Thanos also beat up on Thor, who of course could do this. So yeah, Scarlet Witch is definitely powerful enough to at least hold Superman at bay with her chaos magic, if she can catch him.
That is definitely not what I was expecting him to say. So basically, ever since 2015, she had the power to hurt Superman. I wouldn't quite agree with that. I think that back in 2015, I think that like Endgame onwards, she had the power level to do so. But that is, I see what he's saying. You know, she could destroy Vibranium. You know, Thanos could destroy Vibranium. I get what he's saying. I don't personally agree with it, but I understand his point. I do agree with the notion, you know, she could overpower Thanos. Thanos was able to bully Thor, who did survive the full force of a neutron star. There is some hilarious lowball going around saying that, like, you know, the full force of the star was like island level or some shit like that. It actually isn't. The feat would be more consistent with the, you know, the star level scaling for Thanos, things of that nature. There will be a link to Blazing Void's video, who basically breaks down the Forge feats very accurately and kind of debunks the hilarious attempts to debunk and lowball the feat. Definitely shout out to, you know, Blazing Void in the description. Honestly, yeah, not much I have to say. He did hint towards speed there, towards the end of the comment, so I feel like he's gonna bring in the, you know, the whole speed side of things. I feel like how, you know, she can kill him if she can catch him, and that's going to be the way Superman wins. So we're just going to have to see how that goes.
This is kind of the crux of the argument. Superman is always going to be faster. He's always going to land the first hit, and so he's always going to win. And while I definitely still believe that Superman is way faster than Scarlet Witch, I also don't think Wanda is necessarily slow. I mean, she's reacting to her speedster brother, reacting to her speedster son, most importantly, reacting to Captain Marvel, someone who should be able to go faster than the speed of light. And not just that, but reacting to her photon blast, which should be moving literally at the speed of light, too. I think Superman is still faster, but clearly Wanda is intended to be insanely fast, too.
Okay. Yeah, no. Okay, so he brings up... Okay, so I'm going to break this down from, like, reverse. So he says, like, oh, not Wonder Woman. She says, like, Scarlet Witch isn't slow because, you know, she's reacted to, you know, confirmed light speed attack. She's reacted to characters who are moving at light speed, fighting at light speed, that sort of speed. Okay, so he scales Wanda to light speed pretty consistently, you know, combat reaction, that sort of thing. I'm actually amazed, because in another video he said that, you know, Superman would blitz because he's bullet level in speed. He can blitz bullet timers, you know, against Thor. So, yeah, DANCO's scaling really has improved. Where I do disagree with, where I have issues with, is where he said, like, oh, you know, Scarlet Witch is light speed, but Superman's, you know, massively faster. I don't necessarily agree with that because he made a comment about how Flash is always going to be faster than Superman when Flash is going all out. You got to keep in mind that Flash was going, like, significantly faster than the speed of light during the finale of Snyder Cut, where logically he'd be, you know, massively faster than Superman based on DANCO's reasoning. So I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that is, you know, to say that you're massively faster than a light speed timer, let's just say for the sake of argument, he thinks Superman is like 10 times faster than light. There's not really much argument, there's not really much evidence to go on based on that. And if we assume, for the sake of argument, that, you know, Illuminati Captain Marvel scales to, you know, MCU Carol Danvers Captain Marvel, she would be like 1,000 times the speed of light in, you know, travel, combat speed, that sort of thing. When she saved Tony from, you know, 1,000 light years away in 24 hours, she'd be like at least 1,000, she'd be like 300,000 times speed of light, rather. So, yeah, to say that Superman is massively faster than Scarlet Witch, who can fight characters on that tier, I do think is pretty wank, to be honest. But I understand what he's going for, and not a bad argument.
If Scarlet Witch somehow is injured, well, now she's got a pretty crazy healing factor. I'm talking the kind of healing factor where you can just magically pull your body all back together, act like nothing happened. So, can Superman still bull rush in there and take her out? Maybe, but it's not going to be easy by any means. I also don't really think it's in character for him to do this, at least when he's still in hero mindset and not kill all the Justice League mode. But with Wanda, well, now she's always kind of operating in killer instinct mode, and she can definitely kill Superman. She can destroy his mind telepathically, take him out that way. She can kill him with her chaos magic. She can make it so he no longer has eyes or mouth or brain or a head. There's so many ways that she can win. And she was doing this all against an elite team of heroes, all while several universes away. She's going to be even more powerful in this fight here. So, who wins again? Well, I think Superman can win if he tries to go for the kill right away for speed and his power. But I don't think it's necessarily in his character to speed blitz for the kill right off the bat, at least when he's thinking clearly. And besides, Wanda might be better resisting this than we'd all thought. But it is totally in character for Scarlet Witch to now kill right from the get-go. She's got no problem doing it. And she's got a ton of different ways to do it too. So I actually think I might have to give the slightest edge to her here. Believe it or not. I know, I was surprised too. Scarlet Witch wins.
Okay then. That's not at all what I thought he was going to say. He gave the win to Scarlet Witch. So, I mean, I'm happy in that sense because that was the notion that I went into the video with. You know, I firmly believe Scarlet Witch would win. It's actually interesting when he brings up the regeneration factor because it's something that I completely overlooked. But yeah, he's completely right. She does have a pretty good regen factor. She is very durable now. I mean, with her chaos magic, you know, functioning as like a shield, if you like, she was already pretty durable. You know, she could block attacks from Thanos, as he mentioned. But yeah, he's 100% right. I completely overlooked that. But yeah, she is more durable than we thought. I do like, you know, the stipulation he gave for, like, winning. You know, he mentioned that, like, Superman would try, like, speed blitz, possibly. That would be his winning condition. But it's not really that likely, given the characters she's fought. Whereas, you know, she could overpower him. She's, you know, could reality warp, all the rest of it. You know, she has a fuck ton of things she could do in this fight. So, yeah, I 100% agree with him. And to be honest, this video was actually pretty good. There was only a few things that I disagree with, a few things that were possibly taken out of context, like, you know, the what was it, like the world engine thing for Superman, and then, like, you know, the durability side of things for, you know, Wanda. That's pretty much it. Other than that, you know, I agree with the outcome. He did some pretty decent scaling for all of them. So yeah, I honestly don't have that many bad things to say about this video. So yeah, my final rating for DANCO's Superman vs Scarlet Witch video is an 8.5 out of 10. I think that, you know, the way he presented the evidence was really good. He misinterpreted a few things, but only like a couple of things for each character. You know, he got the outcome right, in my humble opinion. And he was entertaining, you know, and he made the comment about Superman being in Justice League killing mode. I thought it was quite cool. I mean, his humor has never really been my thing. But I think it was entertaining, you know, the video was very good. I agree with more or less everything. There's only two things that I had issues with, but pretty good video, to be honest, man. Good job. With that being said though, guys, I hope you enjoyed the reaction. You know, this was a first for me, and I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and, you know, comment down below whether you agree with my analysis and also what video you want me to react to next. I'm happy to react to, you know, DANCO, anyone, as long as it's not got, like, too much profanity in it. I don't mind reacting to it. Have a nice day, everyone. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Once again, you know, we're on the road to 1K subscribers. It would mean a lot to me if we could get there by the end of the year. Have a nice day, everyone. This was Lewis, the Gaming Rift, signing out.